my most amazing artists. Today we are going to make a print of the robot that we made the other day. Doesn't this look cool? So this is the robot that I'm going to create with some markers and some basic supplies you probably have at home. Here, let me show you what we need. These are some of the things that you will need. You'll need paper, some aluminum foil from the kitchen, some markers, you might need some tape, your robot that we made the other day, paper towel, and a squirt bottle. Or you can use a clean sponge that is damp. If you need to, you can pause this video so that you can go collect the supplies and then come right back and watch the rest of the video. Now let's talk about foil for a second. Foil has two sides. It has the shiny side, here, and then it has the dull side, which is the back. We're actually going to use the dull side more for this project. First I'm going to put my foil so it's shiny side up. Then I'm going to lay down my robot so the robot is touching the shiny side. I fold the sides back and I tape down the edges. I tape down the edges so it doesn't slide around when I'm doing the next part. Once I have taped down the edges, I flip it over so I can see the front. Now I'm going to gently take my fingers and I'm going to rub over the foil so that I can start to feel the edges of the cardboard underneath. Make sure you rub gently so you don't accidentally rip the foil. Here you can start to see all the edges of my cardboard underneath, and my robot is starting to show through. Now let's take a minute to talk about color. On the color wheel, we have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple, or violet. When you're coloring your robot, you want to pick colors that are analogous. Analogous means they're next door neighbor colors, so colors that are touching each other on the color wheel. For example, I could use red, orange, and yellow. They are next door neighbors. Or maybe green, blue, and violet, because they're next door neighbors. Now pink is really just a light red, so I'm going to put the pink in with the red. I want to stick to no more than 3 colors, because if I add too many more, they'll mix together and end up making brown. Once I've chosen the colors that I want to use, I'm going to use the side of the marker instead of the tip to cover over all of the empty spaces. I can use the tip of the marker to get into any tiny details if I need to. Now it's time to start getting our paper ready. First, I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to spray it with water and dab it with a paper towel so that it's wet but not drippy. If you don't have a spray bottle, you could also use a sponge that you've squeezed all the water out. Then, I'm going to put my robot with the marker on it on the table first. Then I'm going to put my paper wet side down so the wet side is touching the marker. And I'm going to rub the back of the paper with my hands very carefully. I need to hold it down so that it doesn't move, because if it moves, my robot may get all messy. I'm pulling up the edge a little bit just to check and see if my robot is transferring. Here I pull it off, and look what I've got. This is called pulling a print because we have pulled the paper away from the robot. You can repeat this process as many times as you want to make as many prints as you want. That's the cool part about printmaking. Now, we're not done with this robot yet. Let's clean off all the marker with a wet paper towel. I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to get some of my favorite permanent markers. And I'm going to do the same thing I did with the other markers, but this time, the marker's not going anywhere. I carefully color over each of the shapes that I have used to make my robot. Now that we've finished coloring it, we have 3 wonderful masterpieces. We have our robot that we made on the cardboard. We have the prints that we made from that robot on the cardboard. And then the cardboard itself became its own work of art when we added permanent marker to it. You can do this project with any sort of shapes that you want. What can you make?